Oh, my oven's on. Oh, crap. Oh, God, help me. Why I go on mission trips, part 2. Okay, now I'm ready. My oven is off. Hey everyone, it's Kate from Unprepared. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm sitting in my living room because I felt like talking about mission trips and God in my room was a little bit weird, so I'm in my living room. Anyway, today I want to tell you guys a little bit more about why I go on missions trips. So I have gone on 3 missions trips so far and 1 service trip. Missions trip was just to a church. Service trip was through Michigan State University, where I went for a year before transferring to USC. The first 2 trips were with my church back home in Michigan, Bedford Alliance. We went to the Bronx in New York twice. I want to say like 17 and then 18 when we went, so I was really young. And then the service trip I did was to Costa Rica with MSU, which was amazing. We stayed in the family's homes, we worked with the kids, we built a fence. I did some welding, which I shouldn't have been doing. I had no idea what was happening, but I did it and I made it work. So yeah, I've been on a few missions trips, and then I went to Malawi with Mosaic Global last year, and I'm going back again this year. And if all goes as planned, I will also go to Lebanon with Mosaic Global in August. So potentially 2 trips this summer. Crazy, exciting, and I want to tell you why I even do this. I've always been really drawn to global work. I love kids and particularly have a really strong passion for kids. I like working with them. I like showing them that they're important. I like loving on them. There's nothing better than seeing a kid smile and goof around and have fun. So whenever there's a trip that has the opportunity to work with kids, I am all over it. When I decided to go to Malawi last year, I always knew I wanted to do a Mosaic Global trip. I've been going to Mosaic for about 2 years on and off before, and then I started to get way more sticky and serving constantly and going every week. So one of my goals for the year in 2018 was to go on a trip with Mosaic Global. So at the start of the year, I went online to mosaic.org and I looked through the different trips that Mosaic Global goes on, and I quickly chose Malawi because it had the kid component. We do a art theater camp with all of the kids in the village Chaliza that we've adopted. And it's the best thing ever. So I quickly applied to Malawi, and then they called me and wanted to do an interview with me. I went in, did the interview with Martwan and Rachel, who I interviewed that you guys got to see. And let me tell you, I did not think that I was going to be chosen. I sat there during the interview and they were asking me hard questions like, how do you handle challenges, and what can you bring to the table? What are your spiritual gifts? Tell us your story with God. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I am so new to coming back to my faith. I was born and raised in the church, but I stepped away from it for a really long time and would only go on Easter or whenever I convinced one of my boyfriends to go. Y'all know that story. So coming back to Mosaic, I was pretty evergreen, pretty new to be going on this trip. So sitting through that interview, I said, absolutely not. Are they going to choose me? I'm not prepared. I don't know enough about the Bible or God. I don't pray enough. So I didn't think I got it. And then I got the call saying that I did indeed get chosen to go on the trip, and I lost my mind. I called my friend Tiger, crying, so excited. I just felt so honored to be chosen. But that's how I decided to go on this trip. And I gotta be honest, you guys, it was so much more impactful for my life than I ever imagined possible. Every single trip I've ever gone on, it leaves me, a little bit changed, a little bit better, more inspired. But there's never been a trip like Malawi with Mosaic Global that completely changed my life, changed my heart, changed my desires, gave me new passions and things I want to commit to. All around, Malawi was the best thing that could have happened to me. So going into the trip last year, there was an element of being passionate about kids that made me want to go. There's an element about caring about people around the world and wanting to get to know different people around the world that made me want to go. But also I didn't fully know what it entailed or what it would do to me or how I would prepare for it. I was pretty clueless. Leading up to leaving for the trip, we did months of preparation. We'd have meetings once every 2 weeks, once a week, and they were long meetings. They were 4 hours, more than 4 hours. We'd spend whole half days at Mosaic preparing. And we were learning things like songs in Chichewa, which is the language that they speak in Malawi, or different, like, how to greet a chief properly. It's not as simple as you would think. I can hardly even remember it. You like grab each other's wrists. It's crazy. It's a sign of respect, so you gotta know how to do it properly. We were learning a lot of cultural things, and then we were learning a lot of spiritual things too. And just a lot of things to really connect ourselves to Jesus and to form an even stronger relationship with Jesus. Because if you're over there and you're on a missions trip and you don't have Jesus at your core, you go struggle. And to be completely honest, struggle I did. Because, okay, like I said, we did an theatrical performing arts show with the kids in the village. And that's great. I grew up doing musical theater. I'm an actress. You know, I like that stuff. But going into the trip, I was like, don't these kids need shoes more than they need to paint? Don't they need clothing and food more than they need to feel inspired from art? I didn't super understand it, needless to say. So when we got there, I still was kind of unsure what the whole goal of the trip was, what we were going to be doing for these people. And for a whole week, we were there for 16 days. For the first 5 days or so, I still had that mindset. And I gotta be honest, there was a lot in me that I didn't realize was in me that I was working through during those 5 days. And I quickly discovered how wrong I was, which I said a little bit in my last video, because while I thought we, the Americans, the wealthy people, blah, 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 the people with surplus, were going over to the third poorest country in the world to save them, that was my incorrect mindset. The truth is that we go over there and we partner with the Malawians. We are there 2 weeks out of a year. So there's 50 weeks left that these people are still living, they're still pursuing things, they're still changing and growing. We don't do that much. Going over there and thinking that you're going to fix all their problems, you're gonna get rid of all the poverty, and you're gonna change the way they see their kids, or you're gonna change the way women are treated, or how women are empowered, blah, blah, blah. Within 2 weeks, girl, you pray. 2 weeks is not that long, and it's not us who's going to do all those things, it's the Malawians. It's the Malawians that are going to change their country. It's the Malawians that are going to change their tribes and their chiefs' hearts. And they're going to be the ones to be empowered and to do all of these things. So we are just there to partner with them. Having the mindset that we needed to be bringing them things was wrong, because say we did bring all the kids in the village shoes. I don't even know how many kids that is. It's over 1,000. There's so many. It would be very difficult in the first place. But say we did, those shoes are going to wear out in a year. They're going to be tattered and torn, stolen maybe. And then really, what could we do? But by doing what we did, by doing this art show with them, we did so much more than just give them an item. We went over there and we showed them light and love, and we loved on them so much and showed them that they are so valuable and that there's so many things in each and every single one of those kids that can create amazing things. And I'm tearing up because I get it now, and I didn't get it then. And I was frustrated then. But yeah, looking back, it's who am I to think that I can go over there and just save the world? I'm going over there to show them the love of Jesus, the love that I have in my heart from him, and show them that they are worthy and they are valuable and they can do grand and mighty things. Those kids are raised in the village, they aren't exposed to much, they don't know much going on outside of their village, and the girls especially are told that they're going to be raised and they're going to start having kids at a really young age. Before, it was legal and encouraged for the girls to get pregnant when they were super young, 13 years old, so young. Now there's a law that says they have to be 18 or older, which is amazing. But that's the mindset over there. Women have kids. Women are born, and they are raised, and they have kids, and it's a cycle, and that's how we keep the village going. And they don't know that they even have the capacity or the capability to do incredible things, and that they can be whatever they want. But going over there and loving them and helping them to see all that they already have within them is 10 times more impactful and empowering than bringing them shoes. And don't get me wrong, we do really tangible things. We had a legal team that went over there and helped free people who were in prison for insane reasons. People get imprisoned over there for swearing. That's not fair. And then their families can't raise enough money to bail them out. So we had a legal team, we have a medical team who sees I don't even know, like 1,500 people a day. They're, helping them with malaria. It's a really big problem. Administering different types of medicine, just crazy things, educating them on how to prevent medical issues. We do a ton of really tangible things. And a lot of you watching this are probably only hooked on those things, which that's how I was before too. I was like, if we aren't walking away from this saying that we did this, and this, and we accomplished that, and that, then what did we do? But I know now that was super wrong, because going over there, being a part of their lives, getting to know them, showing them that they have light inside of them that they can bring to the world, it will change them far further than a pair of shoes will. So that is why I'm going again this year, because everything I learned and experienced and took with me after that trip last year left me a completely different person. I was already on the path of growing and changing a lot, but after Malawi, it was impossible for me to look back and still be the same person that I was for the past 10 years. A person who, I was fun and I was, people liked me, but I was hurting. I had a lot of deep pains within me that I was trying to work through and just couldn't seem to conquer. They kept coming up. A lot of trauma and tragedy from my childhood and in my life. So because I was hurt, I was hurting other people, and I was not bringing a ton of value to the world. I was bringing more destruction, if I'm being completely honest with myself. I spent my days partying and just looking for different ways to make myself feel better. But nothing changed me like the love of God changed me, and Malawi was kind of the catalyst for me to understand that. So I came back from Malawi, and oh my goodness, I was like a mess. First of all, coming back is a crazy thing. You have to re-assimilate back into this culture, America, where I live in Los Angeles, where things are so abundant and you have so many options, and you don't have to worry about turning on a light switch because there's no electricity in Malawi. You don't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. We're very privileged. So coming back and going into that was crazy. And then add on the fact that I'd done all this hard work in Malawi and I didn't realize I was doing it, but my perspectives were changing, my desires were changing, the things I was passionate about were changing. So when I came back, I dove right back into serving at Mosaic on the kids team. And very quickly, I started to change. And growth is crazy scary. I did not understand what was happening to me. I was feeling anxious and frustrated, and I distinctly remember one point where some of my friends from USC were having a birthday party, and I couldn't make it because I instead had to go to a Mosaic debrief for the Malawi team. And I was really upset. I thought my friends were mad at me. And it was in that moment that I had to choose between, do I want to just go out, have a good time, and serve only myself, or do I want to go to this team meeting where my life was changed and where I was helping create beautiful things in other people's lives too. So that was a frustrating moment, but it was kind of like the defining moment where I was like, oh, okay, you're growing. This is why you feel that way. As you can see, like I've said a zillion times, Malawi changed my life. It was a big reason as to who I am now today, accumulated with a ton of other hard work that I was doing. And because of that, I'm going back this year. And it's crazy because we're there for 16 days and I have so much money I still have to raise, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it to me to be able to go back and see those kids' faces and recognize them and get to hold them and play with them again and show them I care so much that I want to come back and see them. And also just everything I learned in Malawi about time and slowing down and expanding my capacity and using my talents and my gifts to serve and help others instead of just serve myself. I was changed, I was transformed. And with mission trips and service trips, you generally think you're going over there to bring all the change. Well, let me tell you, you're gonna walk away realizing you were super wrong and that there was a lot of change happening to you at the same time. So I go back because Mosaic does insane and awesome things over there. The legal team was crazy, the medical team insane, and working with the kids is just unparalleled to anything else. So I go back because of that, and I go back because I owe so much to that trip and to those people and to the way that they changed my life. So I want to continue to be a part of their stories and them be a part of mine, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So that's a little bit of why I'm going back to Malawi this year. I hope you guys keep joining me on this journey. It's the best one. Okay. See you soon. I'll have more videos about Malawi on Wildly Unprepared coming up. Bye guys.